Let's go to the caller. Caller, you're live on the air. What's your name, comment, and or question?
Hi, it's John from Mississippi.
John, Mississippi, 601 is in the house. What's on your mind, man?
Hey, well, to the argument that Trump's, the campaign is not, running a lot of ads or spending money or has money or whatever is all, fine, well, and good. But would Trump, would we have gotten to this point where Trump can run a campaign sheerly on media if we had taken the steps when necessary? And part of that was just because Citizens United kicked us bit us in the ass about it. But would he be so successful if we had campaign finance reform starting in 2008 or 2004 going to this point? I don't think it would be quite the thing that it is. I think we would have more substantial candidates get further, and Donald Trump wouldn't have just run away with the nomination like it.
I get what you're saying, and I just put a graphic up on our screen, and I see what you're arguing that. Hang on, let me pull this off the screen. You're arguing that from the position that if we had stronger campaign finance reform, stronger candidates would have come out sooner, and not given Donald Trump the chance to win. And so,
well, not only that,
yeah, go ahead.
But that the structure would have developed by now. Does that make sense? Like, we wouldn't have gotten to this point where nobody has any money, enough money to compete except for Hillary Clinton and
a millionaire and a billionaire,
Jeb Bush, and Trump just comes in and knocks it all over. Instead, you would have had better candidates than Bush and Clinton.
Yeah,
be further out in front.
Well, yeah. I mean, so it's kind of a two-edged sword with this, right? Yeah. Thanks for the call, man. It's a two-edged sword in that Donald Trump, if we had better finance, could other people have got? It depends on what that better campaign finance reform actually looks like. But let's say that it level the playing field and allow people who didn't have the capacity to raise tens of millions, and then hundreds of millions of dollars to actually get in the campaign. Could they have competed against somebody like Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? Better candidates would have come out, very possibly, right? But Donald Trump is not really the beneficiary of fundraising from corporate donors. Not according to opensecrets.org, right? So if you're looking at this graphic on our screen, it's a little small. I might blow it up later on, but he's raised $59.9 million. 96% of that has been campaign donations, and the lion's share of it has been $45 million of his self-finance. Only 4% of this has come from super PACs, and this is from opensecrets.org. If you Google, and actually it's a new deal, right? I haven't seen it. If you Google Donald Trump campaign finance, you'll get a great summary from Google and opensecrets.org. And so based on that, he put in the lion's share of the money. He's paying himself back. I mean, at first, I'm like, the joke's on us, because all the money that he's raising now, he's spending back on his businesses. But this is $45 million of his own money. He's creating this narrative that is uber beneficial for billionaires to run for office. Get free media. I mean, because he has been the beneficiary of tremendous amounts of free media, right? No one can deny that. But that's not just because. That's because he went out there and worked the system, right? He worked the hell out of our media networks, and our media networks are desperate. I'm trying to use the cleanest language I can, right? They're desperate for ratings. And so anytime they talked about somebody as asinine as Donald Trump, it gave them great ratings. Therefore, it gave Donald Trump free publicity. Trump knew this, and Trump ran away with this. And so now he's in a position where he's able to run this streamlined campaign. And I'm taken aback by the fact that now the Democrats are on the opposite side of the equation, making jokes about the fact that Donald Trump is not raising obscene amounts of money. When in fact, we should be like, dang, he actually managed to do this without raising obscene amounts of money. And not, he self-financed, right? But it even goes back to Bernie Sanders, right? So with Bernie Sanders, he was able to do it on small donor amounts. And because of the need to be in the political opposition, right? You have to have something to oppose and contrast yourself with your political rival. All of a sudden, the Democratic establishment became the party of big donors. I think that's ultimately what I'm building up to here, is that the Democratic Party has become the party of big campaign contributions, bundlers, lobbyists raising obscene amounts of money from uber rich people. And here you had Donald Trump self-finance for the most part, raising money, paying himself back, and Bernie Sanders raising small dollar amounts. And here we are. The Democratic Party now is laughing. I think they were floating around last night and this morning. I think they came up with what they want to use, right? Last night they floated around poor Donald as the way that they're going to label Donald Trump, because they've fallen into the trope, not the trope, they've fallen into the fell clutches of Donald Trump's narrative, right? Donald Trump labels people tiny Marco or little Marco, or lying Hillary or lying Ted or whatever, dishonest Hillary, whatever. That's Donald Trump's stick. And Hillary Clinton's team has to follow suit. So they've been juggling names over the last 24 hours of what are we going to call Donald Trump? Last night it was poor Donald. This morning or this afternoon, it looks like they're going to go with deadbeat Donald. I don't know. I'm just not of the opinion that we should be opposing the fact that Trump is managing to pull off this campaign without having huge amounts of money raised from corporate donors. Now, there is the huge caveat that the reason he can't raise this money is because he is an asshole and he is a proto-fascist, right? That all of this is true, but we should not undermine this position that we need to get money out of politics. And instead of, and not only are we undermining it, but we're running headlong in the opposite direction because we feel that it is giving us a political advantage for us to oppose and defeat Trump with this narrative. You got to be careful of everything that looks like an opportunity isn't. Sometimes you betray yourself.